Thank you again for being here. We will be taking questions. I will be running around with a microphone getting my exercise this afternoon. If you have a question, if you'll raise your hand high and be patient, I'll make my way through the room and try to see if we can't try to get to everybody. Testing.
Your reaction to Ryan's use of Catholicism in defense of his draconian cuts made me look for what he was referring to, and I can't find it. He quotes the Bishop of Rome and says that debt is evil, basically, which is a big strand in a lot of religious thought. But I'm just wondering if any of your number were actually able to question him directly and ask him, what the blank is he talking about?
I don't think we said what the blank, but yes. Actually, while we were on the bus, his office called us. And he offered to meet with Simone privately and without press, and she did that. And she felt that they had, she felt that they had a good discussion, but they were ideologically opposed, and probably never the twain shall meet. But she said if she felt he was a good man, just he didn't have it right. Hi.
How did you come up with a committee to create the faithful budget?
You know, that in DC how it works is you form coalitions, because everyone knows that as little groups we're not powerful enough. So the coalitions have formed years and years ago, and it's called HOO, the Heads of Washington. And it's the heads of Bread for the World, Network, Families USA, the very large activist organization that you know of. These are just their presidents, and they meet. And when this had come up with this Paul Ryan budget, they said, you know, we got to counter. And it's really refreshing, because if you see a lot of places, people can complain about politics, right? We didn't just complain, we did offer an alternative. You see a lot of governors who are refusing the federal funding to put more people on Medicaid. They're just saying no, but they're not offering an alternative to their working poor who can't afford insurance. It's not acceptable. I think even Governor Jindal said that. I know I can't come at you with anything else, so I'm just saying no. But you need to present an alternative. And that's what we did. And that's what I think helped us. When you criticize something, if you can offer another way, it's better. But the coalition was there. It was just their idea.
This has been so inspiring, but now my curiosity is piqued in terms of, has anything else happened between the Vatican and the nuns?
Not this nun. No, and not with Network. See, Network, that was the interesting thing. Network has never had any connection, conversation, discussion with a bishop, a priest, a deacon, and anybody. So we were quite surprised to find our name in that. Now, the LCWR had been in conversations with them, so they knew that a report was coming out. We were surprised by our presence in the thing. And because they never spoke with us before, we didn't anticipate they would speak with us subsequent to it. Hi.
I was just wondering what's next for you. How do you keep this momentum going? How do you keep the positive energy flowing and people getting involved and I mean, obviously this is kind of like a, like you said, ride the wave, and it's kind of a fame type thing now, but I know you wouldn't pack this hall if there weren't people interested in taking part somehow. You know, a lot of people want to do their part, but they just don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's absolutely, part of it is, and I don't know if you know our website is networklobby.org. We do national things, and it's as easy as signing up and just signing the email alerts, telling your representatives that you're opposed to this or you're for this. You know, it's imperative that we all remember they work for us. If our employees behave like this, we'd fire them. And yet, Congress has done nothing in 4 years, and many of them got reelected. You know, that's our fault partially. You know, we have to tell them what we want. So, there are many action alerts, and I think everyone should get on top of it. And with respect to what's next for us, we keep saying that. Like, well, where do we take it? Where's the Holy Spirit leading us from here? Because this came about so quickly. It was amazing. Literally within 6 weeks' time, we were traveling across the United States. And now we're looking at, how to use the fame. It's not our fame. It's the fame of the cause. No one came to see us. People came because they believed what we were saying. People agreed with the idea that we do belong to each other, and what I do to you affects me directly and indirectly. People were starving to hear that. I think that was the most amazing thing to us. People came to us saying, this is church. This is what we came to church for. This is what we believe. And they wanted it, and they wanted to continue. And they jump on our bus, and our bus is, it's probably about a month ago, we were in D.C., and now it's rabbis, imams, pastors, and nuns on the bus. Or it's nuns on the bus, RIP. So that's not good. Somebody put it down on a note. It was, But it's expanding because everyone likes it. Everyone likes the idea. Everyone feels it in their core. We say, I speak of that time that our mothers remember when we cared about each other and you just did it. If we have to name it today, then name it to reclaim it. Fine. But that's still in people, and they want it. They want to live it again. So we ride on the bus, and we ask people to come join us. Absolutely. We hope to be doing something with immigration, large scale. But our lobby, we're always doing something. I work on Medicaid expansion in all the states in the South. I'm losing. But we're winning, actually. Michigan and Ohio just accepted the money, and Jindal's just around the corner. I feel it.
So I'm looking for optimism here, and I'm thinking historically that just in my lifetime, I used to hear major politicians talk about poverty and concerns for it. By recollection, I remember John Edwards talking about it in 2008, I guess. But I don't hear as much about it. I do believe what you're saying about people being excited, but I'm wondering, are we talking about a small number of people as opposed to the masses? And so I'm asking about, if you look at history over even the last maybe just 40 or 50 years, do you feel that there's been a change in terms of overall population's concern about poverty? And how do you, you're giving me ideas already about how you're trying to remain optimistic about this.
Well, sure, you make a good point. And that's exactly my point, is if you want them to start changing the conversation, you have to start changing the conversation. And are we a small group of people? No. You had the Occupy movement, then you had the Nuns on the bus, and one gets more popular than the next. People want to hear it, and people are signing up to stay with it. We also, Obama's inaugural address, he made a point of mentioning the impoverished, the immigrants, the gay population. He included everybody in his inaugural address, and that was pretty historic. That was gutsy, because that is not going to garner support in a politically volatile Congress. But he's saying it. So we have changed the conversation in America. Before, right now, how many people would go to hear a nun on the bus? You'd be like, why isn't she driving? It's not, but it is, people want to do things. And then that's up to you. If you tell 10 people about our need to explore activities that own our responsibility to each other, and everyone does that, that's how it starts. We declined, I think, kind of insidiously. People got money. It's hard to compete with materialism. It's the same thing we see decreased people, living simple lifestyles. We got into a point of we had to keep up with the Joneses. But now we have to shift it, where we just have to be equal to, everyone has to be equal to the Joneses.